My name is Sherry Presley. I am an advocate with Disability Rights South Carolina. Disability Rights South Carolina is the protection and advocacy system for South Carolina. We are here to help people with disabilities understand and defend their rights. In this presentation, I am going to be discussing pre-employment transition services and vocational rehabilitation transition services. These can be helpful services to be aware of during the transition process. First, let's start with discussing what transition is. Transition is the process of preparing for adulthood. It's a time for students with disabilities to explore their areas of interest, learn new skills, and learn more about resources and services that can help them navigate life after high school. Keep in mind, transition is individualized. It will look different for every student depending on their unique circumstances and needs. In this presentation, we are only focusing on vocational rehabilitation and transition. Vocational rehabilitation can assist eligible individuals with disabilities to prepare for, find, advance in, and keep a job. Vocational rehabilitation can also help students in the transition process. South Carolina has two vocational rehabilitation agencies. The South Carolina Vocational Rehabilitation Department, also known as SCVRD, is the general VR agency. Individuals with any disability can apply for services from SCVRD. The South Carolina Commission for the Blind is the VR agency for individuals who are blind, legally blind, or who have a vision impairment that could result in blindness. Each agency has a main office and local offices that serve different parts of South Carolina. You can look up your local office on their website. The websites for each agency's transition information is on this slide. For the purposes of this presentation, when we reference VR, we are referring to both agencies. So, how can VR help with transition? VR can provide pre-employment transition services for eligible students, and if invited, VR can attend IEP meetings when transition planning will be discussed. The student or their parent or the school district with consent can invite VR representatives to attend IEP meetings. The student does not need to have an open VR case for VR to attend IEP meetings. Let's explain what pre-employment transition services are. These services are also known as pre-ETS. Pre-ETS is a group of services that are available to students with disabilities between the ages of 13 to 21, regardless if they have an open VR case or not. These are usually the first set of VR services for a student that needs them. Students do not have to apply for and be determined eligible for VR services in order to receive pre-ETS. However, students must be enrolled in a school, post-secondary education program, or other recognized education program to receive pre-ETS. These services can help a student find a career of interest and learn skills to help them achieve work goals and prepare for life after school. These services can be requested by the student, or a student may be approached about these services. They may be provided by VR, or they may be provided by another entity through an agreement with VR. There are 5 pre-ETS services. Job exploration counseling can explore areas of interest and what careers are in that field. Workplace readiness training helps the student learn how to navigate workplaces professionally. Work-based learning experiences. This could be internships, visiting jobs, volunteer opportunities, or work experiences. This can take place at school or in the community. This service really allows the student to test out work and learn work-related skills. Counseling on post-secondary education opportunities. Explores post-secondary options such as college or technical school, depending on the student's desires and needs. Self-advocacy skills. Effective self-advocacy is one of the most important skills a student with a disability can have in navigating adulthood. This service provides training to students on how to self-advocate in various situations. A student does not need to receive all 5 services. These are generally short-term services. You can ask your local VR office if you have questions about pre-ETS. Now, let's talk about VR transition services. This is a different service than the pre-ETS we just discussed. Transition services are available to students and youth with disabilities who apply for and are determined eligible for VR services. So, a student has to have an open VR case to receive transition services. VR can be involved in the transition planning process while the student is still in school and can help facilitate transition to post-secondary education and employment goals. Once the student has been determined eligible for VR services, the student will work with a VR counselor and an individualized plan for employment, also known as an IPE, will be developed. This plan will have a work goal and the VR services the student needs to help reach that goal. One type of VR service the student can receive is transition services. VR transition services are based on the student's unique needs, preferences, and interests, and can include instruction, community experiences, employment planning, and other adult living goals for after school. Keep in mind that VR can continue helping a student when needed after high school ends. So having an IPE in place before exiting high school is an important consideration. This can ensure a smooth transition process and not delay a student toward achieving their work goals. We hope this presentation helped inform you about VR services for transition age individuals. This slide has contact information for Disability Rights South Carolina, including our helpline, TTY number, general email, and office number. For more information about DRSC, including resources, please visit our website at www.disabilityrightssc.org. This presentation provides general information not intended to be legal advice. The information was based on law guidance at the time it was written. As this may change, please contact DRSC for updates. The views expressed in this presentation are solely those of DRSC. This presentation is partially funded through a Social Security Administration SSA grant agreement. Although SSA reviewed this document for accuracy, it does not constitute an official SSA communication. This presentation was developed at U.S. taxpayer expense.